Good morning. It's Brian back in the forest, finally. And I'm going to, share this. Share on Telegram. There we go, sharing on Telegram. Hello everybody, give this a share. I have got something big to say today about our case and all sorts of other stuff. But first of all, overnight, the utter complete, is there chocolate on my teeth? Probably. The utter complete failure of the the left-wing blue check Twitter to understand satire. It's funny to watch. I mean, it's like a show. Trump tweets out one of Carpe Dunctum's old videos of the two little kids running, making a point about CNN, and the press and Twitter slaps it with their doctored media, evil edited video crap. And at the same time, Trump tweets out also a campaign video making the same point about the outrage mob, what the No Agenda show calls the noodle gun. You have to listen to No Agenda to understand. First of all, Noodle Boy, and now the noodle gun. And the noodle gun is this outrage directed at any and all who eschew the established orthodoxy. Anybody who won't take a knee or bend the knee or bow down. And as I tweeted out, you don't want to bow down for Marxists because they shoot you in the back of the head while they do that. Anyway, noodle gun is the weapon that they're using. No Agenda show twice a week on Thursdays, if you want to understand that. But this utter failure to understand satire is endemic. It's part of the left, but also it ties in with this absolute thing, which, you know, I've been going on about this crypto class action for a long time. Not going to go into the details here again, but it really does feel like we're entering an exciting phase, because we're behind the scenes. We're getting the paperwork ready right now, and it's huge and massive. And we've uncovered some new stuff that it's just so damning for Facebook in particular, and in conjunction with Twitter and Google as well, because it all stems from 2018. And this is 2018 January. It's before the mass deplatformings of sort of Alex Jones and Tommy Robinson and so on, the ones that caught my attention. And what one finds is that they deplatformed this industry, this cryptocurrency industry. And at the time, when we started building this case, we didn't have the evidence and we didn't see the motive. But there is a status from Zuckerberg early in January 2018 where he acknowledges that he and Facebook have missed cryptocurrencies and blockchain. They just missed it. They just didn't see it coming. But I think he was being disingenuous. They actually did see it, but they realized something. They couldn't compete with it. And they can't beat a decentralized system. They can't buy it. If you've seen my videos on this sort of esoteric Steam Hive thing, where somebody tried to buy a blockchain-based social network and failed, because what happened? The community took the software and built their own. In a couple of weeks, they replicated the entire system outside of the control of the person who thought he was buying it. Totally and utterly legal, and totally what blockchain was designed to do. And what it means is someone like Zuckerberg, with all his money, he cannot acquire a system built and on a distributed across the world thing without a single owner. He can't go and buy it to kill it. And I think they realized that in 2018. And what they did was, Zuckerberg wrote his status and his goals for the year. His company banned an entire industry from advertising on the world's largest online advertising platforms. And not only that, at the same time, he started staffing up his version of cryptocurrency, which a year and a half later we discovered was called Libra. But we now see that there were people within Facebook changing their job titles and changing their job descriptions to work at something called Calibra in January 2018. He took it all at the same time. So we already knew that they took concerted action to destroy the cryptocurrency and blockchain industries. Now we have actual evidence of a motive. That's gone straight into the court case. And then a funny thing happened a few months later is that Twitter followed on a few weeks after the Facebook ban, and they also banned cryptocurrency advertising. But Twitter's ban had a little exclusion, which is funny. Twitter's exclusion was that you could advertise cryptocurrency if you were a large public company floated on one of the major stock exchanges. At the time, very few cryptocurrency exchanges or businesses were floated on a major public stock exchange, except for one called Cash App, owned by Square. Square had a Nasdaq listing, but guess what? Jack Dorsey is the CEO and the founder of both Twitter and Square. So Twitter's rules contained an exclusion for his own company. And even more amazing is a few weeks after Twitter brought in their cryptocurrency advertising ban, Facebook amended their advertising ban to relax it very slightly to then allow major public companies listed on a major stock exchange to advertise crypto on their platform. It looks very much like Facebook banned it, Twitter banned it with an exception, and then Facebook added the same exception into their rules. All to allow Jack Dorsey's Square and Cash App to continue selling or advertising their services. The whole thing is rotten to the core. And I'm looking at all of the proposals for legislation in America with antitrust legislation and so on. But I know with our legislation in Australia, we're holding one of the most powerful weapons against these companies. We're going into our legal review right now. The results of that, I hope, we will get a very, very, very powerful recommendation back from that legal review. And that's what's going to allow us to get this thing into court. And we could be in court quite quickly after that. So it's looking good. And the timing is looking good because if we don't manage to launch this thing, the power of these networks, whether they can affect the American election this year in November, whether they have the power to keep Trump from being re-elected, I don't know. They are absolutely desperate to stop him being re-elected, I think, that because they feel guilty for having put him in the first place. But we don't know. But I tell you what, of all of the methods of attack against these companies that I've seen, all legal avenues that I've read about, all legislative avenues that I've read about, nothing beats what we're going to do in Australia. So pending this legal review, the results of which we'll get in a few weeks' time, and I think, though, the one thing we have realised is we're going to need some big bucks to back the case. But the case is really good, and one hopes that those big bucks will follow on from a very successful, in startup terms, this legal review, and also the $600+ billion of signed up class members, that those two things together, along with a very positive legal review from the highest echelons of the Australian legal system, those would together combine to be like being a startup that's growing and has great numbers of active users, and it will make us a very attractive investment proposition. So very good. In the morning to my friends in Australia who've been joining, Chris and Colleen, and I got to sign off now. Everybody's trying to phone me, of course, because the minute I open Periscope, everybody in my family phones me. So speak to you all soon. I'm great. Great. This is Brian of London. I'm back in my forest. I'm feeling good about that. Drinking my little espresso, and the world seems to be getting back to normal. At least Israel is. Bye for now.